Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Mega Man 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, played on the Wii Virtual Console. In our last episode we just defeated the final 4 Robot Masters. Now it's off to the Dr. Wily stages. So here's the password coming up. We once again put on the difficult mode, which is the Japanese version. The normal difficulty was only added to the American version to make it easier. So another thing that was added to the Mega Man games, it's become a staple from Mega Man 2 on, is when Dr. Wily goes off to his fortress, they'll actually show a picture of what the fortress looks like. How Dr. Wily keeps getting the money to build these extravagant fortresses, I don't know, but he does. And in addition, the picture also shows basically how many stages we're going to have to looking forward to conquering. In this instance, there's 5, but there's actually a hidden 6th one, but I'm going to start off here approaching the fortress. Got some birds dropping things, but they're not too difficult to deal with the metal blade. I'm going to also use all the items to crawl these walls. Item use is going to be very important here. So, now, I mentioned earlier about we just defeated all the 8 Robot Masters. So another interesting thing is, starting with Mega Man 2, is Capcom started soliciting fans for Robot Master ideas. So, at the end credits of this game, when they show the Robot Masters who developed them, those were actually fans who entered submissions for Capcom. Now, in future games, you know, some of the robots were, because of time constraints, stages were already developed, and winning robots were basically ones that best fit the stages that were already designed. But it was still a cool way for Capcom to get, you know, fans involved in the project. Now, most of the winners were, you know, Japanese individuals, because, you know, that's the company that made it from. But however, in Mega Man 6, 2 of the robots are actually designed by Americans, Nightman and Windman. So if you look at the credits on that, when those 2 Robot Masters appear, the names are American names. So yeah, it's pretty neat. But so anyway, first stage, Dr. Wily here. We got a tricky part coming up here. Just hop over this guy. And this is the tricky part here. We're going to have to use our item 1 to cross this very large gap. But we can only have 3 item 1s on the screen at a time. So we're going to place our 3 down here. And we have to place that first one while we're on the ladder. And doing so will allow it to disappear in time for us to place the 4th one to be able to successfully reach this ladder. Climb up, and then we're off to fight the boss. Now, a lot of people remember this stage because of the music. It's a very popular musical track, which is also going to be shared in the next stage, and I'll talk about that a little bit more and how memorable it is. You can just type in Dr. Wily Stage 1 Mega Man 2 into YouTube, and you'll see how many people have recovered this. But I remember this stage mainly because of the boss, a big metallic dragon. I don't know how he's flying with those just little tiny wings, but he can. So he's kind of dangerous, because you're fighting him over basically a big large pit. The best way to fight him is to jump here onto the upper left one, and then shoot him with your quick boomerangs, and then when he approaches your level, jump down to the one on the right. He shoots usually 1 fireball. Sometimes he'll shoot multiple fireballs, but they're easier to avoid if you just kind of jump back and forth between those things. If you're standing on the upper platform, which is where I'm at now, and the fireball hits you, you can get lucky and it can knock you down to the one on the right. So, probably, like I said, the safest place to, if you do have to get hit, is in the upper one. So, here we're on to stage 2 here, and we want to make sure that we have a filled up item number 2, because we're going to cross a really big pit. They give you 2 of these big energy refills at the beginning to fill it up, but if for some reason you don't have it filled up after that, you can always just defeat these prop top enemies to get enough energy. So, now getting back to the song, which is also the memorable song, which is also being played here. It's, I guess, so memorable that when Mega Man was introduced into the Smash Brothers game, which is a big competitive fighting game that Nintendo put out, the stage that Mega Man fights on is the background of this, and the music played in that stage is this track. So, yeah, of all the tracks that were available for all the Mega Man games, they chose this one, and Dr. Wily Fortress is the background, so this goes to show how well loved and memorable this track is. So, and here's if you have a good memory, this is gonna remind you of Metal Man stage. We got these screw enemies coming up, and just where the power of the wood shield is really apparent. Very powerful weapon. We just summon it around us, and then just shoot it forward when we walk forward, and it basically clears out all the screws in one hit. It costs a lot of energy to use, but as you can see, we're getting tons of weapon energy refill drops. So we should have no problem having a full wood shield when we're finished here, or near full wood shield. Speaking of Metal Man, we get back to this area, and we got the crushers from Mega Man back. We're gonna use our item 3 to climb this wall. If you mistime it and that crusher's in the way, just jump straight up off the number 3. It'll start crawling down, and then you'll land on it again. You might have to hop on the number 3 item a few times to get your timing right, so you can jump onto the platform where the crusher is when it's up. You could use the flash timer here to stop the crushers from coming down, but I'm gonna save the flash timer for the Quick Man refight. I'm just gonna drop down here. Be careful. Remember, you can reset gravity by pausing the game, and that can help you navigate these falls. But here we have another unique boss. The bricks are going to come out of the wall, and two of them are going to combine into a little robot that flies at you. The more robots that come out, the quicker they become. So the first ones are going to be kind of slow, and then the ones toward the end are going to be much faster. You can take them out with your metal blades. There's 2 hits per two metal blades take them out, and you can hit them from further away. 1 hit with the bubble lead takes them out. I prefer to use the bubble lead because you don't really need the bubble lead for too many enemies. The metal blade is going to be useful in the boss refights and against Dr. Wily. The bubble lead is only going to be useful really against the Heat Man and the final form of Dr. Wily, where metal blades are going to be useful against so many enemies such as the boss refights with Flash Man, Metal Man, Wood Man potentially, and the first and second forms of the Dr. Wily saucer. So now we have this underground water area. We don't need any of that stuff there. We could get these things if we want to, but we're pretty good for health, weapon energy. So we'll switch to quick boomerangs here, and we're kind of in, I guess, this rusty water here. And sometimes these big gaps here, these big fish come out. It's random whether they come out or not. We didn't see any there, but I'm going to jump back and forth just to try to show them off. So there we go. And they can either be defeated by the quick boomerangs or the crash bombs. I'll just use the quick boomerangs because we're going to use the quick boomerangs on the boss in this area. So now this is a tricky jump. You want to jump down here. There's going to be a lot of things. So this is a good time for you to pause and reset the gravity. It allows you to avoid the spikes much easier because see how you're falling so fast here? Yeah, you pause it, you start falling slow again. So that's a nice little trick to help you avoid the spikes when you're falling. Stay on the right side here so you don't hit the spikes. They have a really nasty trick there. They put spikes there. So and then we have a short little column here with these little robots that shoot with their little cannon arms. They're pretty cool looking. And we're going to run into kind of an old friend, I guess, or an updated old friend. So this is the Guts Dozer. It's kind of like a bigger Guts Man, and he's on a bulldozer, tank tread. You just want to jump up, shoot him in that little yellow dot on the top of his head. Sometimes he'll raise his arm and he'll shoot a little hard hat hooligan, those med enemies, out of his belly. But he's not too difficult with the quick boomerangs. So quick boomerangs getting a lot of work here in this thing. 2 bosses of the 4 major bosses are weak to the quick boomerang. So here we have another. Here's our final main stage, I guess you could say. The next stage is just going to be the robot refight. So this is the last main long stage, and it's a pretty long stage actually. And it's notorious for its boss. There's also a few interesting traps in this stage, but I'll show you ways to get out of them. So here's those hard hat hooligan enemies, or Mets they're called. Different names they're given. So messed up. I wanted to jump off the ladder to the left in this little hole. So we do that, shoot this guy, And here's what like kind of the traps are. There's gonna be false floors. So see, we can jump up that floor there. It's an illusion. Well, how are you supposed to tell if there's a floor is an illusion or not? Well, in case you don't see that floor as an illusion, they're pretty nice, the game. On the next screen coming up, there's multiple illusion floors, but there's no danger in if you fall in them, so. Right here, we climb up this way. If we shoot the bubble lead crawls along the floor, and it'll fall down through the illusion floors. So, say if you just avoided that one up and you climbed up this way at first, you'd be walking across, and you'd fall right down that hole, and you'd be like, wait a minute, something's not right. There's holes. And then that would give you an idea that, hey, there might be holes here in this room where there's a bunch of spikes. And lo and behold, there is. So we're going to shoot the bubble lead, see where it falls down, and then we know to jump over that little hole. So. And that E-tank, of course, is guarded by another hole. We'll just take out this little Met. Boink. Take him out. Oh, we got a refill there. And we'll pull out our item 1. Now we have four E-tanks already, and we can only have 4 at most. So we're just going to use that E-tank, fill our life up, and now we're back up to full life and full E-tanks. So, yeah, if you have 4 E-tanks and you see another E-tank, just use one of your E-tanks, fill your life up, because you're going to refill your E-tanks anyway, so. Here's another good area coming up where the wood shield is. We're going to revisit these little train tracks that we saw on the Crashman stage. We're going to drop on it, and once again we got the floating pipe people. And we're just going to put on our wood shield. Remember, the wood shield only fires away from Mega Man's body when you tap a direction on your control pad. So as long as we stay still on this platform, the wood shield is going to stay there forever. So, and we can ride it, and those those floating pipe people will never hurt us. They're going to alternate between kind of a puzzle room and then a floating pipe people room. So here's our first little puzzle room. Pretty easy, we just jump off, then on that one little section, because the train track goes through a little mini section there that we wouldn't fit through, so. And now, once again, they kind of have a little puzzle section here, but with the floating pipe people. Just hang on the ladder until, take out that first floating guy, and we just ride the track. And unfortunately, we're going to lose our wood shield over here, because we're going to have to jump over this little gap, but then once we get over it, we can just enter the wood shield again. And we're going to be pushed off of this platform right here, so we just wait until you got a clear shot. And here, you can use your pause to reset gravity to curve yourself onto that platform beneath us. But I just wait until the train appears beneath us. And you could do a jump from that one block onto the train when it gets down to the track above the spikes. But I just use the number 2, because after this stage, we won't need the number 2 again, so. Now this is a tricky part, because we're going to have to deal with a bunch of these Sniper Joe enemies, and we won't be able to dodge their attacks, because right here, this it's too small this little hallway is too small to jump, so. We're going to have more of the mechs, take them out. And you just got to be careful once you defeat these guys, because if you backtrack, or if you get hit and pushed back, the mechs will reappear, so. And they'll deal some, so. Just avoided that guy. And here we have a very interesting boss. There's going to be a bunch of turrets on the wall. 5 turrets, and we have to destroy them with crash bombs. Now, some of them are guarded by walls, and you have to destroy the walls with a crash bomb, but if you destroy all the walls, you're not going to have enough crash bombs to defeat the turrets. So you got to kind of choose the way you defeat the turrets. Now, what I did there was I did a little trick. If you keep pausing the game, bring up your weapon select screen, what'll happen is you'll blink and you'll be invincible as the shots will go right through you. So I did a little trick there to save a crash bomb. If you shoot a crash bomb right above that wall, you'll take out the turret in the upper left, and the wall blocking the turret on the left there with 1 crash bomb, so. You can also do that with this wall here. If you shoot a crash bomb, it's really difficult, but if you shoot it in that little nook right there, you can destroy both of the walls at the same time. But normally the best way to do it is you just use your item 3 to get around that wall. and then you can take out the thing right there. So now if we didn't use that trick to destroy the wall in that first turret, we wouldn't have one extra crash bomb left, and I wanted to have that one crash bomb because if you can get lucky on the first form of Dr. Wily Saucer, you could potentially one-shot it, but we'll see if I can do that in our next episode when we take on the 8 robot masters. Take care, have a good day. Bye!